Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. If you can see me excited, well, I am excited because today I'm interviewing Jonathan Landsman and I'm pinching myself. So, just today, well, let me tell you, first thing in the morning, I turn on my computer and there are like few posts or blogs from Natural Health 365. So that's basically how I encountered Jonathan Landsman. But then I see Jonathan Landsman basically at every summit that I pay attention. So he just posted Immune System Summit, which was awesome. And now I'm watching Chronic Lyme Disease Summit. And yesterday he was one of the guest presenters. So he just posted most powerful vitamin to kill viruses, e-transcript. And there's one thing about Jonathan that I think resonates with me and comes across his passion. When you hear him talk, guys, you will see how passionate he is, and it's all about health. So let me do something, a quick introduction, and I obviously need a cheat sheet. Jonathan Landsman is Managing Director of Natural Health 365.com and host of Natural News Talk Hour. He's which is, he's helping millions of people worldwide. So this is my mission and goal. On health, physical fitness through a variety of educational and entertaining articles. He is an author, he is a publisher, he's an entrepreneur, he's promoter, and he is a health advocate to begin with. So Jonathan Landsman, thank you so very much.
It's my pleasure. How are you?
I am awesome. It's a beautiful day in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm sure that it is not as hot and not as humid as in Florida. We have only 26 minutes and I better stop sassing. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I know that you have a health journey. You were a professional athlete and you were running marathons.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we could go all the way back really quick, the 3-minute tour of my life. When I was young, I certainly played a lot of baseball, loved it, what we call here in the United States, Little League. So I enjoyed that, did all kinds of all-star stuff with that. Then as I got older, got into weightlifting through high school and playing basketball at a pretty competitive level. But the really big thing was probably racquetball, just because simply I loved it. So I talk to people all the time about, a lot of people wonder what they should do. Just find something that you love. So of all the sports, I clearly loved racquetball the most. Went to the Olympic Training Center in Marquette, Michigan. And through college, of course, I went to the Lake Placid Olympic Authority. It's another Olympic center here in the United States, where I worked with a lot of high-level athletes and studied a lot about sports and physical fitness. And, as you get older, it's like, what are you going to do? So basically with my dad's influence, and he always enjoyed teaching. So, I guess I picked up a lot of that from him, the joy of teaching. So I figured, how am I going to help other people to be healthy and physically fit? But all through my 20s and my 30s, and I would say probably up to my early 40s, I was a pretty crazy, competitive, athletic person. And then, of course, naturally, I would work with a lot of people and their health and physical fitness goals, some very high performance athletes as well. But most of the people that paid me money were basically people that wanted to get on school teams. They wanted to get scholarships at school. They just wanted to get better athletically and health-wise. So I did a lot of that coaching before I was on the internet. And so long story short, here I am now, obviously reaching a lot more people, thanks to my wife. My wife was the one that gave me the great idea. Look, you're teaching one-on-one, you're doing groups and all of this kind of stuff. But, we've got to get out to more people. And so obviously now the internet is a beautiful thing because it gives you an opportunity to get a message out to a lot of people. And so long story short, I've been doing this for years and it's been a blessing. It's been a heck of a ride.
Oh, no kidding. And guys, one thing that I really want to stress out now, why am I so grateful? Actually, the Jonathan generosity. You know, he is probably very well paid public speaker and stuff, and he's doing it for us for health. So let's start talking. Jonathan, I am a doctor of cells. By profession and the degree, I diagnose cancers. I'm a breast pathologist. By passion, I teach health. And most important thing for me is a cellular health. Interestingly enough, you also talk about cellular health.
Sure.
Let's elaborate on this a little bit. Talk to us, please. Why and what? What's
Well,
your
I
take?
think, it's probably a tricky thing to talk about because day to day, I don't think a lot of people think of themselves as a whole bunch of cells. So it's an interesting way to talk about health, right? We all want to be healthy. We want to feel great. We want to have more energy. But I think a lot of things in health are very much a disconnect, perhaps, is probably the nice way of saying that we all feel, I think, probably somewhat too disconnected from very important concepts. Now, for everybody, it might be something different, but I think a lot of people who are suffering with health issues are kind of missing that one, like, oh my God, I never thought of my life that way. And so you're bringing up cellular health. For those people that might be open to it, it's extremely important what you're talking about. Cellular energy, we're made up of trillions and trillions of cells. So if our cells are low in energy, it just sets the stage for all kinds of physical problems, and we can identify with it when we think about what people say most of the time when they're feeling not so good. Oh, I feel run down, I have low energy, but they don't say my cells are busted, my cells need more energy. And so there's a little bit of that disconnect between, I think, why am I suffering so much and what should I do? And a lot of times I think it's just a matter of getting with the right people, listening to a nice conversation like this, whatever it might take, getting around the right physician that's going to kind of light you up and make you think about things a little differently and help you to realize, there's a lot more that you can do to feel great, but you need a different perspective. And cellular energy is extremely important. It's the basis of all of our health, physically, mentally, and emotionally. No doubt about it.
This is awesome. Basically, per se, what strikes me right now, you're talking about taking charge of your health destiny and not reaching out for a magic bullet, because there is no magic bullet. There is a healthy lifestyle. Cellular energy, you're so right, because I always tell that we are either a lump of cells or we are a mansion of cells. In fact, like 38 trillion cells. No, 30, 38 or 39 are the microbiota. So, and that's what it is. And there is never a magic bullet, but this is my responsibility. And I think this is the one and the most important sort of message. Take charge. Now, how do I build my cellular energy? You're absolutely right. And also, cellular energy, whether we like it or not, is going to be linked to cellular aging, correct?
Sure, of course.
So let's talk about some very interesting notion, which is called, what is your take on oxidative stress?
Well, I think anybody should be looking. Oxidative stress is a normal thing, right? We all do it. I think it's just a matter of a game of balance, right? Do we have a tremendous amount of oxidative stress going on all the time without some of the other stuff, which is, the things that we need to take into our body to kind of buffer things, if you will, or balance things out, or to help restore us and regenerate us. So I don't think in and of itself, oxidative stress is something that should be stressing people out or keeping them up at night so that they don't sleep. And that's deliberately what I'm bringing up now, as to something that would make us feel a little bit more relaxed about this. Oxidative stress is a normal thing, but environmental toxicities, heavy metal toxicity, you don't sleep well at night, you don't think much about the food you eat, you don't actually purify your water, and you're like, who cares, this and that. So everything I just mentioned, you have toxic relationships, you don't feel very strongly spiritually connected in this world, in your physical body. So you have all of these things that are not there in your life. And a lot of the things I mentioned about not the best food, not the best water, overexposing yourself to personal care products and home household cleaners and things like this that might be more toxic. Now you're adding more and more constant elements that will create oxidative stress in your body. And so your body on the scale, if you will, is just constantly getting worn down, stressed out, attacked. You don't sleep well at night. Your nighttime is so very important to restore, to regenerate, to repair your body. If that whole area of your day, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, if that's a train wreck for you, and then you got to do it all over again the next day, and like you say, you don't feel much control over your life, day after day, month after month, year after year, that I would say is the kind of oxidative stress that's vicious, it's dangerous, and it definitely does set the foundation for all kinds of dis-ease. Very easy to understand.
Awesome. I'm looking at you through the computer and I'm thinking of my shields. See, I've got the shields, and in the evening I put the shields on. Now I'm just trying to look pretty.
Sure.
So you just nailed it again, because you were talking about what is the pattern of my reduction. To me, oxidative stress in abundance is that cellular toxicity. And the cell will never, ever function if the cell is toxic.
Right.
So how do we minimize it and optimize the vacuum cleaners per se, the cleaning apparatus? So you just mentioned that the cellular stress comes from the outside stress. And you mentioned how easy, to me, it's very easy, like something that we can't address. It's like, if your boss stresses you out, your boss stresses you out. However, your prayer, your meditation, your water, your food, your sleep pattern, as you said, your hygienic products. This is controllable. So this is awesome. Now, okay, fine. So let's get to my favorite one. No, I've got probably 3 favorite topics, number 2 and number 3. Now, okay, fine. We address cellular stress, and addressing cellular stress through the whole bunch of things. It's not a magic bullet again. It's a commitment. It's my commitment to me, because I always say self-care is not selfish. It is self-necessary. Fun. So we started doing this. We're cleaning the cells. Guess what's going to happen? Number 1, you said that cellular energy is down. Well, guess what? Your cellular energy is going to go up, right? So now let's chat a little bit about my favorite guys, mitochondria, the mitochondria. How? Because mitochondria, it is your cellular energy. That is your powerhouse, amongst other things. You need to have your healthy mitochondria, to give you energy. No energy in the cell is not going to live. It's going to die. It's as simple as that. However, the confused mitochondria is a bad thing too. When the mitochondria is in a dirty cell and it gets confused, where does it go? Where does it send the signals? I keep telling that the DNA in the nucleus is like a husband in the family. Mitochondria is like a wife in the family that tells the husband what color pants to put on. So the mitochondria is going to hit that DNA. You do not want neither confused mitochondria nor confused DNA. how are we bumping the mitochondrial numbers and how are we improving mitochondrial function? Because if we can do that, oh, we're younger and better and happier.
I think it's just very simple. Again, to keep it very practical for people, a lot of times I think that when somebody is struggling with health problems, the knee-jerk reaction is to think, like you're bringing up mitochondria and cellular energy. And I think it's very easy to get lost in all this and kind of, and again, I'm just thinking about the person out there who's not feeling well and get a little too overly stressed out about this. Here it is, we're talking about cellular stress and, poor mitochondrial function. But again, and I understand you're a physician, but a lot of people out there easily get very stressed out. They're overwhelmed. And I like to always take the opportunity, if you don't mind, for me to say something more in a big picture way. Everybody listening to this message, I feel very strongly they know exactly what they have to do to bring up their energy. Here it is. We're mainly focusing about cellular energy here, mitochondrial function. In fact, even the vaccine industry, not to get too off into that topic for obvious reasons, but even they admit that people get injured by injecting things into their body that might be toxic for them because their mitochondrial function, right, especially in children, might be low or dysfunctional. And then that's why they say their products that get injected into people, oh, that's when it gives them a problem. So we understand all this, but the main thing that I think people need to understand is you know what you have to work on first. If you're drinking a lot of water, but you're not mindful of the kind of water you're drinking, clean it up, purify it. Okay. If it's you going out to eat at restaurants, then actually now in this pandemic environment, hopefully you're not too upset about it. To be honest with you, it might be the greatest blessing in the world is that you're not going out to eat at these restaurants anymore with all kinds of toxic oils and, a little too much salt, and it's not sea salt and blah, 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 right? It's the kind of foods that are delicious, it's enjoyable, but maybe, just maybe, we were doing that too much. So you don't go to restaurants as much, and it focuses your attention on cooking, preparing foods at home that you enjoy, that are not overwhelming. All of that's fine, but my big message,
responsibilities,
but here's my big message though first, which is whatever it is you're going through health problem wise, think of your life as, just sort of you're the house and there could be a lot of things bombarding you on the outside, chipping away at the wood, at the paneling, at your roof, and it's damaging your house. So what would be the first thing you would do? Vacuum the inside of your house? Would you call a friend? I mean, the best thing to do would be to find out how you could simply stop the assault on the outside of your home. It's sort of like, if you don't mind me being so graphic, it's very simple. If someone were on the outside of your house shooting rounds, bullets at your house and punching holes in it, and life-threatening stuff was going on, what would be the very first thing you would want to do? I mean, it's very simple. You'd want to end the threat. It's that simple. You wouldn't want to talk about it. You wouldn't want to read a book. You wouldn't want to do other things inside the home. It's go outside and stop the threat. So I think everybody knows I eat too much fast food. I'm getting angry all the time. And if I get angry all the time, anger is an emotion that's heavily connected to my liver organ. So my goodness, I got to stop being so angry. I've got to find out why I'm being so angry. I'm being too controlling. Now all of a sudden your relationships get better as you start fixing that. You start fixing your relationships. Now all of a sudden you have more support. And now you get involved in other things that are healthy for you. I mean, the whole thing goes round and round. But the point is, the big picture is, what are the most toxic things in your life? And simply stop it. Stop being so angry. Stop swallowing that really toxic food. Stop spending your hard-earned money on things that you know have too many chemicals in them that don't kill you overnight, but they really do bother you over time. They are definitely upsetting you. And eventually, that's when people say, oh my goodness, how did I get so sick? How did I get here? And really, it's about just understanding this big picture of what are some of the things right now that I need to do, that I need to stop doing, that are so toxic in my life. I have to stop going to bed so late. I need to rest more. The next day, I can't get up. I'm too tired. So work on something that really hits you in your gut. No pun intended. What is it that's really bothering you today? This has been a big message of mine now. Are you living in too much fear? Overall, that just means just get it. This is something I've been talking about a lot in the last couple of days about this whole idea of fear, because so many people are so fearful these days. Fear, for the most part, 99.99% of the time, I'm afraid of something. Really, you could replace it with, I don't know enough about something. It has me very afraid, but I know very, very little about this thing that's making me afraid. So find out more. You know, it goes right back to the first message you said at the beginning of our conversation. Take control, right? We know, yes, it's great to have a medical doctor that can help us, a naturopath, some integrative healthcare provider, a great health coach. That's all fine. Having great support, a really terrific family member, a friend that you can lean on. I think support is huge to keep building up, supporting somebody's sense of self-confidence and feeling good about themselves. All of those things are great, but I think the bottom line is that we should all understand, at least from what I've seen in my 55 years on this earth, is that we all know exactly what we really got to do. We just have to ask ourselves seriously and then just be a little patient, wait for that answer, and don't ignore the answer. Athletically speaking, just a quick example, I would work with a lot of children who cried their eyes out. Oh, I don't know why my life is so terrible and why I would lose and why I wouldn't perform so well. Okay. Calm down. Tell me what's going on. What upsets you the most? What are you so pissed off about? And what's making you angry and what's making you depressed? Tell me. My serve in tennis is terrible. I can't kick the ball with my right leg. Whatever it might be. My point is, they eventually just calmed down, thought about it for a moment, came up with an answer, and then here's the kicker. It's not enough. Do they then follow through for the next 3 to 6 weeks, okay? Because a habit is, 21, 28 days. Does somebody take action for the next 3 to 6 weeks and actually hone in on that one thing that's bothering them the most? Because a lot of people, I say it respectfully, will say, this is terrible what's going on in my life. And then the next day when you talk to them and you watch the way they're behaving, it's as if they completely forgot what it is that was really bothering them, what they even flat out said they have to do, and they don't even come close to doing it in the very next day, 24 to 48 hours later. This, again, it's a little bit, I'm sure it sounds like tough love, but I have to be very honest with you. This, among everything else, fancy detox programs, I can tell you about green powders I have. I can tell you about medicinal mushrooms and sea vegetables and antioxidants, and we got to fight free radical damage and blah, blah, blah. We could talk about all these fancy things, right? And protocols and strategies. None of it matters. What is it that's most important to you? Is it physical issue? Is it emotional issue? Is it a spiritual issue? What is it exactly? Be specific. Make it something that you can really take action. Like, oh, my serve is terrible in tennis. That is not a very difficult thing to figure out. Tomorrow, we are going to start every day dedicating time to practicing your serve so that the ball goes in the box exactly where you want it to go. And we are going to work on it every day until your serve is better, right? That is a very actionable, specific thing that definitely upset you and literally made you cry the day before. So if it's a cancer issue or heart disease or something is wrong with your blood sugar or it's your blood pressure, it goes on and on. If it's chronic fatigue and it's poor sleep at night, we're going to fix your bedroom. It's going to get darker in the evening. You're going to get away from wireless technology. You see, so I dance all around. It doesn't matter what it is. What is it that's upsetting you? Be specific. Know exactly what makes sense to you to really, you know what? You're right, Jonathan. If I do this, it will get better. I feel that way. Okay, good. Now make sure you do it for 3 to 6 weeks. And here's the kicker in the end. If you're getting results and things are feeling good, keep it up. It's nothing sexier. It's nothing fancier than that. It's just keep it up. Okay? And don't go by what others say. You know now, after this little conversation we've had, you know, at least humbly, from my opinion, what I've seen has worked and all the rest that doesn't. If it's working for you, great. If in 2 or 3 weeks, you are constantly saying to yourself, this is ridiculous, it's not helping me, this is a waste of my time, then you're right. Stop doing what you're doing and change gears. And find something else, though, that definitely makes you feel like you're getting into that zone. You're heading in a positive direction. Nobody has to have 35 years of experience like I do in the industry. Nobody has to interview 500, do 500 plus programs and interview over 300 of the top integrative healthcare providers. You don't have to have my background. You don't have to have a PhD. You don't have to have a master's. You don't have to have a medical degree. You don't have to have special genetics. You just have to understand and appreciate, okay, I've got some stuff to think about here and figure out for myself. And then you know what? I'm going to go for it. And that's it.
This is awesome. Thank you so much. We reached 3:30. Bottom line, take your action and take your health positive action.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, thank you so, so much. That was so inspirational.
I hope so.
No, that was amazing. That was so incredibly educational. Guess who even joined us? Naisha Winters was watching us. Now I'm double nervous.
Okay.
So anyway, so guys, thank you so much. I'm just going to stop recording.